being eaten alive by the flies. God damn. Yeah, I know. What am I doing? That's so damn good.
How many days were you on the history?
Al, there's no film in the camera. There's no film in the camera. I'm gonna drag it right up onto the racetrack.
Hey, you know we have a lot of lodges over here.
It's a cold night, you know.
Someone left the island without his shoes.
Yeah, I'd like to know who was hanging out here. Maybe they're an artifact, you know. They've been here since the beginning of the island.
Heat on now.
got that.
You want?
They got that. Believe me.
Just put it on paper that
That ain't nothing.
we should be paroled early.
Keep going. No, and I. That's cool. No, I didn't.
And then we're gonna go inside.
All I was saying is I didn't want.
I ain't leave you out.
One more.
Any relative?
You ever heard of Senator Joe Angelino? They want to restore him like they want to. I think the clause is nice. I mean, it's a historical site.
You can give her talking. But compared to other work details that you've had, is this one of the better ones, you think?
Nah, that's pretty much the same.
They're all pretty much the same. You're hot.
Hot.
Yeah. And what's your name?
Carl Williams. Is that going to be in the paper? You're right.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be able to push it. He gets loaded. You gotta dump it. You gotta dump it. That's good. Yeah, right? Yeah. You just dusted it. You gotta dump it. Strong, you can get that.
The dust master.
Yeah.
came here. When we came on the side, you could tell the difference. There was no bed, you know, it was going over the all the way up to there. And the next time that we came in, we were going to work. We cut this, and we cut that. That was
You know how there's the building goes across right there, but on the other side where when you first saw me come through?
Yeah.
Over there, so that you can, kind of come up on, probably have you go out with the camera and then.
Well, I'll walk with you, you show me. You going back? I'll walk with you, you show me where to
This
go.
way's quicker.
Okay.
Okay, we're in the psychopathic.
Sorry,
It's okay.
start again, and anytime.
We're in the psychopathic ward again, and we're looking at the progress that's been made on the stabilization since the last time we've been here, and it's incredible progress. It's really exciting to see. We're in the room on the second floor, and you can see what they've done is they've had to put beams up literally to support the ceilings, to provide extra structural support as part of the stabilization, because otherwise this building was in such bad shape it would be falling down while we're trying to raise the money to restore it. Over here you can see they've actually put metal girders on here to strap the building together, strap the cornice together. When we go outside, we'll look at how it looks on the outside. But this is also, it's literally, they've wired the cornice together so that the cornice doesn't fall down while we're waiting to raise the money for stabilization. The louvered windows, window enclosures have been put in here. You can see the air, a little bit of air coming in. We don't feel too much of it on a day like today, a hot day like today. The light section to let the light in, and so all the windows enclosures have been put up on the psychopathic ward as well. So they're making good progress on this building, and we've now bought ourselves some more time. We'll go back downstairs and go outside and look at how some of this looks from the outside.
Okay, hang on a second. Would you be kind enough to go back and reach in with the hand that you used? How would you grab?
I think it was this hand.
Hang on a second. Where are you? Okay, and you did both, right? Well, let's do that one there. We're at the second one.
Okay.
All right, take your hand out for me.
Okay.
And bring it in and tug on it a bit. Take your hand out. Let's do it one more time for...
Okay, posterity.
Or whatever. That's good. And now show me the wood thing.
Okay.
Let me expose her correctly. Take your hand out of there. Yeah, go back to the same spot. Let's talk about it for a second. Like
Okay, this is a beam that's being used to support the ceilings and to help support the roof so that the ceiling won't fall in while we're trying to raise the money to restore and rehabilitate the building. You can see the entire room has had to be structurally shored up because this building was in such bad shape.
Just waiting for my helmet to fall off.
Wait till you have a little bit more sweat underneath it. Obviously they were looking for any sign of somebody not being able to be a productive member of society, whether it was from mental illness or physical illness.
Save that completely. Look, I'm going to save that.
You just said it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Bill.
You're
You're not hooked up. You're not hooked up. So let's hook it up. Anytime.
Okay, you were asking about the need for a psychopathic ward. And one of the things that the examiners, the health examiners, were looking for at Ellis Island was any sign of the inability to be a productive member of society. And that was either a physical, it could be a physical illness or a mental illness. When they were going up the stairs in the main building and you had the 6-second physical, part of what the examiners looked for was there any sign of mental illness. A sign of a mental illness might have been someone who was a little confused looking. It might have been how someone spoke. And then they would take them, put a chalk mark on them and put them aside for some additional examination, just like they did for all the physical ailments that they were looking for. As I understand the need for an actual psychopathic ward as this evolved because the number of recorded cases that involved mental illness sort of tripled in the course of a couple of years. Whether that was because they were paying more attention to it, because the number of immigrants were growing, I'm not sure. It's something that it would be interesting for us to check out as we continue to explore the story of the South Side.
Excuse me.
Sure.
And then my other question was ultimately what happened to them if they were found in need of psychiatric care? Were they sent back from to their point of origin?
Mental illness could be one of the reasons that they were
It
sent
depended
back.
on
It
what
depended,
degree.
Yeah, it depended on whether you could be
So
treated.
they had to be evaluated.
Right. The other interesting thing that we're learning about the South Side of Ellis Island is they began to distinguish between mental illness, emotional health, and cultural differences. Because initially, some of what someone might have considered a mental illness perhaps was because someone had been in steerage for 2 weeks or was so scared to be in a new country and to have their whole life on the line that they were confused or they were very silent.
It was a temporary emotional problem that they had.
Exactly,
That's
as
clear.
part of the whole process of coming to a new place and giving up your life and starting a new one. And they understood how important emotional health was to physical well-being and to your ability to be a productive member of society. The other thing I think this was the beginning of was an understanding of cultural differences, and that sometimes people might perceive cultural differences as a sign of mental illness if they don't understand it.
And those observations first really took root here, the understanding first took root here.
That's right. Sensitivity to cultural differences and emotional health.
And the great fear factor.
With that.
The
There
fear
was
of the unknown.
That's right.
People coming here and you use the word confused.
Right. How could you not be confused?
How could you not?
Think about it. I mean, you're starting a whole new life.
Certainly the language barrier in itself would have been the first
That's right.
problem to deal with.
And some of it, some cultures, as a sign of respect. People are quiet, people don't speak, people look down instead of, I mean, so that
Very
again,
interesting.
understanding what cultural differences play, what role played in this. And I think that would be an interesting aspect of the story
Absolutely,
of the
because as
hospital.
you said, the
explore.
understanding of that first
Started here, and we do that now, today. We're understanding that more and more. I think that's part of what's significant about Ellis Island and why it's so important to save it so people can understand that
Especially,
evolution.
of course, because there were people from all parts of your parts. They came from all over, so that this
Right,
was-
not only Europe, they came from
all over the
Asia
world.
and from
Right.
other countries as well, other continents, so. Good.
That was wonderful, because that people may have perceived that, meaning that someone was emotionally disturbed, in fact, they were not.
Right.
Wonderful.
They were simply doing what they have learned
Right.
to do, or they were simply confused because they'd been in steerage for 2 weeks.
That
and,
would be
you know,
Natural
yeah.
behavioral response.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right.
New
Or they
circumstance.
were scared because someone was looking them up and down and deciding their future in 6 seconds. You know?
We didn't talk about that 6-second examination.
We should at some point, I don't know about today, but some point come back here and do it in the main hall.
Could we do that? Yeah. Where
We
they
could do that today. I mean, I would clean up a little bit.
busy sidewalk, so this is like a luxury to have.
Great. I would go see Missy back. Okay. Let me see if I can find Judy. So you're gonna take some shots of the outside? Okay.
Yep.
Just be careful walking around.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
We're waiting to see if there's any piece up by the,
That's right, Missy's part of the south side before you. There's some swing around here.
Good news that they're going out of the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good though. I mean, every aspect is important.
We were tearing that corner down last week.
Thank you, Bob. There's no stupid dog.
It's basically her tree.
Anytime.
anytime?
My name is Carl. I basically take care of Mitzi. She'd be able to do the job herself if she could drive a car, but she herds the geese off the end. Mitzi's a border collie. She's 4 years old. She's still young. That would depend on the dog. If sometimes the back legs give them a problem. You know, as long as their legs are working and they're happy, they can keep working as long as they want. No, there's 3.
Wait, let's. We all roll. Anytime.
My name is Carl. My dog's name is Mitzi. We work for New Jersey Wild Geese.
And what is Mitzi's function?
Mitzi herds the geese off the island. She does the Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty.
And what does that mean, herds the geese off the outside? There are a lot of geese on the island and she just has to keep it clear.
Mitzi's a border collie. That's basically a sheep herding dog. It's basically inborn. It's just a natural thing that they do is they chase these animals. We don't have sheep around here, so we chase geese.
Is there any one time where the geese come up onto the island more than another time?
Right after breeding, when the mother birds get their wings back, then they can all fly, and they're very much a pest.
And how about on a daily basis? Is there pattern when it needs to come up and down? Or does Mitzi work like constantly, so all day long when she has to do this work?
Basically, they could be here at any time. There's no guarantees when they're going to come, but they usually come in the morning around feeding time.
Is Mitzi the only dog that performs this function, or is she one of others?
She's one of 3 dogs, 2 other bomb dogs, and then 1 goose dog. And then the company would own about 9 dogs that do various runs all over New Jersey.
But Mitzi's the only Ellis Islander.
Yes, she is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool.
That was great. Perfect.
I want to break this thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Rolling.
Okay, we wanted to talk about the 6-second physical. Part of when people came for processing to Ellis Island, part of what was routinely done was a medical examination. And the first set of examinations have been called the 6-second examination. And essentially, the medical examiners stood at the top of the stairs as the immigrants climbed into the Great Hall, into the registry room for processing, and they looked for obvious signs of illness. Perhaps somebody was blinking their eyes, which might indicate an eye problem. Perhaps somebody was coughing, which might indicate pneumonia or some other problem. If someone was disoriented, they might think there might be a mental disease. And if they saw signs like that, they put a chalk mark on your shoulder and sent you into an examination room for further investigation by a doctor. It's called the 6-second physical because the doctors got so good at looking at these signs very quickly while people were coming up the stairs. As it turns out, only about 10% of people were actually pulled out of the line for further examination, either for medical or other purposes, and only 2% of the immigrants were actually sent back, denied entry for medical or other reasons.
So that if it was determined that they were ill, then they were kept in the hospital treated, and then they were then processed?
That's right. If they were ill with an illness that could be cured, they were kept in the hospital until they could be cured. If it was an incurable illness, they were sent back to the country of origin. One of the interesting things about the hospital to me is that we tried to help people, to heal people so that they could then begin productive new lives as they've dreamed. We were also protecting ourselves, our population, from the potential of diseases that might be brought from other countries and from the potential of having people who would become wards of the state. But we were trying to help them become healthy and productive members of society. So.
Cool.
Perfect.
It's a wrap.
Great.
It's a wrap.